It's September 1998. The phone rings in long-term capital management's sleek office on Wall Street. Billions of dollars are at stake, literally the fate of the global financial system. Traders and mathematicians are scrambling, stunned. How could a hedge fund run by some of the brightest minds, Nobel laureates, former Treasury officials, fall so fast, so hard? The implosion isn't just a Wall Street story, it's a portrait of hubris, risk, and the illusions genius can create. Long-term capital management was born from brilliance but thrived in an unforgiving beast, the market. Let's see how mathematical genius dazzled a world hungry for big wins, and what blind spots came hidden with it. John Meriwether, a top bond trader from Salomon Brothers, teamed up with two Nobel Prize-winning economists, Myron Scholes and Robert Merton, along with a crew of brilliant quants and traders. They launched LTCM in 1993, promising to use complex math to predict market mispricings. The fund quickly ballooned to $100 billion and made millions daily, dazzling Wall Street with near-magical returns. Imagine risk as a rope you're pulling across a canyon. LTCM's models assumed markets would eventually correct small pricing errors, so they bet heavily on convergence trades like bonds from different countries aligning in price. The problem? The rope was fraying. Rare market shocks or crises stretched their assumptions beyond breakage, exposing the fund to catastrophic losses when everything suddenly unraveled. The team's confidence in their models morphed into outright arrogance. They believed math could conquer market chaos. Like Icarus flying too close to the sun, their hubris blinded them to the warning signs. When Russia defaulted in 1998, LTCM's trades blew up, and their $4.6 billion of equity shriveled in mere weeks, proving even genius isn't infallible. In mid-1998, cracks surfaced. The market's calm turned volatile, and LTCM's fortress began to crumble. What does it look like when a titan falls one trade at a time? August 1998, Russia announces it can no longer pay its debts. Panic erupts globally, bonds plummet, spreads widen. LTCM's bets on tightening spreads instead go wildly against them. Positions once assumed safe swing into massive losses overnight, catching everyone off guard because the market behaves not as predicted but wildly unpredictable. Markets need buyers and sellers like a well-oiled machine. Suddenly, liquidity disappears. It's like trying to draw water from a dry well. There's no relief, no buyers to take the other side of bets. LTCM's massive leverage means tiny cracks explode into big holes. Their models had assumed liquid markets, but the drying up left them stranded, scrambling to unwind positions without buyers. Banks that lent to LTCM start sweating. The fund's debts and obligations are so huge that failures could drag down the entire system. The Fed steps in, coordinating a stunning $3.6 billion bailout by 14 banks to prevent total chaos. This wasn't just about LTCM, it was a wake-up call that the financial system was delicately interconnected and dangerously vulnerable. LTCM was a catastrophe but also a prophecy. What does the genius collapse teach us about risk, humility, and preparing for the unknown? LTCM's partners trusted math models as oracles, yet these models were simplified maps of reality, blind to rare events or black swans. Lowenstein shows that when you treat numbers as infallible, you ignore humans' emotions and chaos elements markets throw at you daily. The lesson: models help, but humility is the real hedge. The fund's culture was steeped in intellectual arrogance and secrecy, Wall Street's perfect storm. Traders knew how brilliant they were and insulated themselves from outside doubts. This culture baked in overconfidence, reinforcing risky bets instead of questioning. Risk isn't just math, it's people, psychology, and power all tangled together. LTCM collapsed in 1998, yet a decade later, Wall Street repeated many mistakes before the 2008 crisis. Lowenstein's afterword warns us, ignoring lessons from failure is the surest path to doom. To survive complexity, we must build systems that expect mess-ups, embrace uncertainty, and always respect risk's wildness. Back in that tense September night, LTCM's phone calls told a story much bigger than one hedge fund. It was a wake-up call about the limits of brilliance and the unpredictable wildness of markets. Next time you lean on expert certainty, remember, even geniuses stumble. Try this: question your assumptions, embrace uncertainty, and don't let confidence turn into hubris. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.